Hello YouTube, Dave here again. So I've made no secret of the fact that I absolutely love the D&D basic expert rules systems from the early ages of D&D. Going from the Moldvay version to the Menser, which was compiled into the D&D Rules Cyclopedia, I've just really kind of found that the more I look back at the different editions of D&D, the more I enjoy this version of the game. So much so that it was something that I set as another one of my collecting goals, and that was to collect the entirety of the B series of adventures. Now, as you see here, I have module B1, which I got through DM's Guild, Drive-Thru RPG, and I have an original copy of B2, Keep on the Borderlands. But recently, available again through Drive-Thru RPG, they released the print-on-demand version of the B1 through B9 compilation book known as In Search of Adventure. And so I just got this today. It arrived while I was away from home on vacation, and I actually got this really quick. It was, I think, only about 2 weeks from the time that maybe a little over 2 weeks from the time that they actually had shipped it to the time that I received it. So very quick turnaround. I really wasn't expecting it until later this week. I haven't had too much of an opportunity to read through it yet, so this is not going to be a full review, but what this is going to be is just going to be more of a flip through and sort of an initial thoughts. So again, this is modules B1 through B9 collected, and of course all of the B series adventures are for characters levels 1 through 3. They're to be used with like the Moldvay or the Menser D&D basic rules, which ran from levels 1 to 3. So this is a little over, the thing's around 160 some odd pages, complete with maps and handouts, stuff like that. On the back here, it just says Threshold, the northernmost town in the Duchy, and your last stop before your adventures begin. Threshold, the gateway to the mysterious castles, lost temples, deadly caves and caverns. You've heard the stories and legends. Now you wish to see for yourself. This product provides a complete campaign adventure that will take beginning characters from first all the way to third level and possibly beyond, drawn from the finest 9 modules of the B series adventures. And this originally came out in 1987. So, In Search of Adventure, like I said, it actually just compiles, for the most part, those adventures. And I'm going to be honest, as far as first impression goes, this is quite a bit different than I was really expecting. So I was honestly, and one of the things that, when I purchase some of these things, if I know it's something that I want to get, I honestly don't do a lot of research into it ahead of time, because I like these first impression videos to be truly my genuine first impressions and not sort of a preconceived notion that I have based off of the way some people have described this book. So the first thing that kind of threw me off is that it doesn't actually print them in the numerical order that they released in. So for example, Caves of Chaos, which was part of Keep on the Borderlands, which was B2, is the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's the fifth option down. So from what I understand from my reading through of it so far, is that this doesn't actually just reprint them. It actually does try to put them into a more of a logical campaign. And it does so by placing all of the adventures in the, I want to make sure I pronounce this correctly because it's one of the harder ones I think to pronounce, in the world of Mystara. The Duchy, if I can get it here, of Karamakos, I believe is how that's pronounced. So this is, all the adventures take place there, and there is a map of the Duchy and the region here as well. There's also the map of Threshold, which is sort of the base of operation. From what I've seen so far from flipping through this, is when you're in town, there's some rumors that you can hear, and some of them will lead directly to some of the adventures. There's also the adventure flowchart, which kind of gives you an idea of which ones lead into which other ones. So for example, Threshold is the starting point, so they can either go to Codwell's Castle, Elements Sanctuary, or Rahasia, and then they can kind of go on from there. So the letters indicate what's referred to as interludes, and they're usually some minor things that happen, sort of explains what happens at the end of, you know, the adventure and the ramifications for the character's actions in the duchy itself. So it actually does something that I think is really, really cool, and something that a lot of modules don't necessarily do, but it actually sort of provides an impact. So the players, their actions can actually be sort of reflected in the world around them. So I think that that's pretty cool. Now, just because the players, for example, start at Caldwell's Castle, doesn't mean that they have to follow this set of events properly. They can actually decide that after they clear that out, they may decide to, you know, pick up on some of the other rumors and even start a whole other chain of adventures. So it's something that you know, you don't want to completely railroad them, but this is the general structure. So Caldwell's Castle should lead into Hall of the Rock, and that should lead into the Great Escape, and the Caverns of Casqueton, which is actually from B1 in Search of the Unknown. So another one of the cool things that they've done here is, for some of the adventures, they actually show the original cover, just so you know what the actual original cover artwork looked like. And it's interesting because the first one that they actually have in here, Castle Caldwell, is B9. And I don't know how that's going to show up there, but it's actually the last of the ones that are reprinted in here. So far, this seems like it's a really cool product, something that I think is really, really interesting. There you've got B8, Journey to the Rock, and like I said, it doesn't just count backwards either, because I think the next one, actually, the Great Escape, doesn't show the cover for which one it comes from. So I'll have to do a little bit of research and find out which adventure that takes place from. And I guess the idea is that the players were captured and they have to, well, escape. So it makes sense. B1 Sanctuary. So there we got the Caves of Chaos. Now, the interesting thing about the Caves of Chaos, because I have this adventure and I can compare them directly, this really actually starts with just the Caves of Chaos themselves. So it reprints, you know, pretty much all that information properly, and everything looks very, very familiar here, but it actually doesn't have anything for the camp itself whatsoever, or not the camp, the keep itself whatsoever. So it looks like they've kind of cherry-picked bits and pieces out of it. Another thing that I've been looking through so far is I don't actually see the information from B1 actually reprinted in here. Seems we've got all the other ones, like we got Rahasia here, which I think that one shows the cover as well. So you got that one there. And I don't know a lot about most of these adventures yet, so like I said, this is just sort of an early impressions, but it looks like it takes the most important parts of the adventures, the actual meat and potatoes of the adventures themselves, and puts them into this compilation. And I think what's great about it is that, again, it takes these modules, which were really sort of meant to be played, and there's the Veiled Society, which is really meant to be played sort of almost independently. Now, you could string them together, and a lot of people did that back in the day, but this actually does a lot of that work for you, and I think that's actually really, really cool. As far as I can tell, the only part from In Search of the Unknown that's here is the actual map. So, like, there's the Caves of Chaos from B2, and it's got the Silver Princess, Hobgoblin King, Rahasia. So yeah, so here we have the Caverns of, again, Quaysqueton. Probably, like I said, pronouncing that horribly, horribly wrong. But these are the maps that are actually inside of this particular adventure here. So I'll just do a little bit of a side-by-side here if I can. Okay, so you can kind of see, you know, this area here. There's that one there. So it's, but I think one of the main reasons, you know, I'll have to go through and see if I can actually find the room descriptions anywhere, because I don't actually even see it listed in here. Like there's the interludes, but it doesn't actually have the location listed at all for from B1. So I think all they do is basically give you the map and just let you kind of fill it in yourself. And so I guess that's something probably, I guess, maybe for a more advanced dungeon master, one who wants to sort of add their own elements to the campaign itself, which is fine. Although there are a lot of really great room descriptions. The one thing that I do appreciate about this particular map is that they changed the numbering from the Roman numerals that were in the original B1 and put them in just sort of the standard numerical system that a lot of us are familiar with. Now, I can read Roman numerals, but it's still one of those things that it's nice just to be able to glance at something and sort of know it immediately, because it's been a long time since I've had to deal with many Roman numerals beyond like 30. So anyway, so it's really cool that they have that there. So this is a product that, again, you can get from the DM's Guild and Drive-Thru RPG. And if you're interested, you can just click on the affiliate link in the description below and browse the site. If you're looking to find this particular product, it shows up if you just select print on demand. If you're looking to get the print on demand version, it's I think it's even listed in like the hottest print on demand, but you can also find it should be part of the D&D Basic Expert that they have as a subcategory, so you can definitely check it out. I think this is an absolutely awesome book, and I can't wait to sit down and read a lot of the modules that I never had a chance to go through and read before. So I'll be doing that over the course of the next few days, and I'm hoping to have the full review for this starting next week. And in the comments below, if you have this product and you've read through it or you've run it, even better, let me know what some of your experiences were. And but so far, first impression of this is really, really cool. So it's not, from what I can tell, it's not a complete reprint of every single page, like, page for page of all the modules. It's the bulk of where the adventure is meant to take place. It seems like those parts are the ones that are recreated. So if you wanted to read, the Caves of Chaos, for example, and you were interested in reading the notes on the Keep, because the Keep in Keep on the Borderlands is kind of famous for not having a single named character, then you're not gonna find that here, because it starts literally with just the entrance to the caves itself, which is fine, but if you're looking for a complete reprint, it's not there. And personally, I'm kind of glad that that's the case, especially after I had already picked up B1 in Search of the Unknown, especially with In Search of the Unknown in particular, because it doesn't seem like very much of it is, sorry, it's definitely a warm night here. I'm glad that I picked this up, because doesn't seem to be in here really at all beyond just the map. So all the really great room descriptions, and there's a lot of great flavor text and information in this module, and it's not reproduced in here. So it says B1 through B9, but honestly, I really think it would be a little bit more accurate to say B2 through B9. But it's still definitely worthwhile, and an excellent thing to pick up alongside of the actual individual modules themselves. And that's another thing that I actually kind of like about this product, is that it doesn't make having the original modules redundant, because there is a little bit of information that's going to be missing from one to the other, from the original modules into the compilation. The compilation does seem, again, to take a great deal of effort to kind of put all the adventures together in a way that's sort of logical and makes sense, and it puts them in the actual Mystara setting and really fleshes out where they are in that setting, which is another thing that I think is absolutely fantastic. And again, just really, really worthwhile. I have heard people say that it is best to have the gazetteer for the region that these adventures take place in. That gazetteer is unfortunately not currently available for print on demand, but it is something that I'm definitely keeping my eye out for, because it'll be the next thing that I want to get for the D&D like Basic Expert or Rules Cyclopedia system. So anyway, again, let me know in the comments below what you think of the book. If you've read it, you know what your thoughts were of it. If you've read it, what your experiences were. If you ever got to run your players through it, or even just your experiences running the B series adventures in general. I think that these are absolutely awesome little modules to have. And again, it's my goal to be able to have a physical copy of each of the B series of adventures from B1 all the way up to, I think it was B12 was the highest. So that's sort of my next major collecting goal, but this is something that definitely satisfies the urge for now. So once again, this is Dungeons & Dragons In Search of Adventure. Campaign adventure for characters levels 1 through 3. Hope you enjoyed the video so far, and I hope you come back when I do my full review of it within the next week or so. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for all your support. Again, if you're interested in picking this up, or even, you know, B1 In Search of the Unknown, or a print-on-demand copy of the D&D Rules Cyclopedia, you can find all of that by clicking on the link in the description below. It'll take you to Drive-Thru RPG. If you do end up ordering anything, and you don't have to even do it the same day, if you order something within I think 2 weeks of just clicking on that link to look around, it still helps support the channel, and it means a lot to me, and it's been doing way better than I ever expected. So once again, thank you all for your support and for watching, and we will see you next time. Take care.